Joining me now to discuss the growing problem of childhood obesity is Sally Squires, Senior Vice President of Health and Wellness Communications at Powell Tate. Thank you so much, Sally, for joining us. You know, childhood obesity isn't just a problem in the United States. It seems to be exploding across the Americas and in Europe. Why is that?
Well, you know, we've never had more food and we've never had less activity than any time in the world's history. So, yes, the numbers are awful right now. So the World Health Organization says that there are about 1.4 billion people who 20 and older who are either obese or overweight. And that works out to about 2 of every 3 people are now living in a country where weight-related illnesses overtake malnutrition.
So obviously we've got to start a lot younger because it seems like the number of children and even infants suffering from obesity is growing. But eating better costs more.
Well, it can, and it depends on how you do it. And people are looking at that a lot these days. The U.S. Department of Agriculture actually has some plans that will help people eat well for a lot less money. So, but it entails knowing how to cook. It entails some planning. It's really hard if you've got a bunch of kids at home and you're working 2 jobs and everybody's stretched for time. So it can be difficult, but it can be done.
Is obesity correlated to wealth and the amount of money a person has? Because we're seeing a lot of this in the urban areas and poorer areas across the Americas.
There is some correlation there, but unfortunately, we're also seeing obesity across the economic spectrum. So, but there are some really simple things that people can do to start to give their kids a better chance. One is that when women are pregnant, that they look at where their weight is when they get pregnant, and they don't gain too much weight during pregnancy. 2 is if they can avoid a C-section, a cesarean section, it really helps because there are statistics show that children who are born by C-section have about double the risk of becoming obese by the age of 3. And we also know something really simple, and I can't believe people actually do this, but if you don't put a TV in your kid's room, and I'm not talking about teenagers, I'm talking about preschoolers. So there are studies that show that preschoolers who have a television set in their room have 8-fold the risk of having obesity as those who don't.
Wow, that's
so there
incredible information. One last quick question. We have a tiny bit of time. Is this solely the parent's responsibility? Well,
the parent is very much responsible in many ways. So it's up to the parent to provide healthy food, but not to decide how much food the kid should eat. We tend to overfeed our kids. We give them bigger portions. If they're left to their own devices and they learn what they need to eat, and because it's their own hunger that tells them, then they do much better. So those are things that we really have to watch.
Sally Squires, thank you. We'll leave it right there.
Thank you.